Oh, let's get the text off the screen. Cool. Hello. Welcome to my stream. I am your friendly neighborhood mad scientist. And tonight we're just gonna chat about what I'm doing. I'm building an IRL cam. Now, right now I'm streaming from my main PC upstairs in my room. And it's a full-size tower PC. It's got an RTX what do I have in it? An RTX 2070, a couple years old, but it's got a bunch of RAM and it's got an i9 and it's pretty good. I play Elden Ring on it. I do a lot of stuff on it. I do video editing, I do photo editing, I do 3D rendering, I do a bunch of stuff. It's my work computer. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to build an IRL cam with my DSLR camera. I'm actually a professional photographer. It's one of the things I've been doing for years. I'm branching into other things this year, and really since COVID, I've been kind of delving into other areas to keep the bills paid and all that kind of stuff. So, but I am a mad scientist. I build things. I build contraptions. I build electronic stuff. I build things for cameras. I build drones. I build furniture. I build all kinds of weird stuff. I'm that guy. I'm a mad scientist. And one of the things I want to do is I want to share that. I want to share everything I learn, everything I figure out. I want to share it with all of you. So, oh, by the way, I'm going to just totally get off the subject for a second here, and so I make Cuban coffee. Every day I make my own little colada, which is a Cuban coffee, and I do it the old-fashioned way with a mocha pot. It is I just do it on stovetop, and it does not use a filter. It has its own built-in little strainer thing that's metal, and you just you fill the bottom half with water, and then I have a coffee grinder, so I grind up some beans, and then I put the fresh ground coffee in the second part, and then you screw on the top part, and then you just put it on the stove, and you make yourself a delicious single serving of and this just makes 4 ounces. This makes a 4-ounce espresso shot basically, but it's Cuban. I use a Cuban style coffee bean, and then I add some sugar, and then it's just amazing. So anyway, but that's off the topic here. Now, so here is the first setup. Now, recently I did a stream from my kitchen. Actually, let me see if I can have a picture. Yes, I do. Okay. Here we go. Recently I did a stream from my kitchen, and where I made a Greek salad. And this was the setup. It's getting bigger, says looks creamy, never knew you could get that. So an important part of the Cuban coffee is the crema on top, and there's no dairy. You don't. That's a different drink. So there's a Cuban, forget what it's called, but I never get it. So I don't do dairy in my coffee. So I only do sugar. But there's a technique that you use to make the coffee, and you take the first bit of coffee out of the machine, and you put it into a little stainless steel cup with some sugar, and you whip it up, and that's the crema. But also when you brew it, you get a little of the crema on top, and it's just like you have to be. It takes a little practice to do it right, and it's like a Zen procedure. It's like it's different from just using an espresso machine or just having something happen automatically. I like the whole little exercise of making the coffee in the morning and doing the little whipping thing and grinding the beans and just going through the whole little procedure. It's like a ritual. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't want to just hit a button and get my coffee automatically. I actually want to do it the old-fashioned way, the way someone would have made coffee in 1950 in Cuba. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I think you saw I don't know if you saw my video I did a couple days ago where I made the Greek salad. It's getting bigger, says I respect it. Thank you. So this was my setup. So over here, that little box is the computer. So that entire little box is a full Windows 11 computer. And it is connected to, the cable coming out the back is an HDMI cable. And so the HDMI cable is going to just a regular monitor. That's like just a regular, I don't know, 17-inch Dell monitor or whatever. It's an extra monitor I had laying around. Because I have a better monitor now on my gaming PC. Then I got my DSLR camera. So my Nikon Z6 is also connected to the mini PC. And then you can't see it, but there's a webcam. That little black tripod in the back there, on the top of that was my webcam that was showing my face. So that was also connected to the little mini computer. So we got three things connected to the mini computer. We got the HDMI cable for the monitor. We got the HDMI coming in from the Nikon camera, and we got the USB coming in from the webcam. And then I was using a wireless keyboard and trackpad instead of a full keyboard and mouse. I really like that thing. It's super portable. Because this particular setup doesn't have any kind of a touchscreen. So the plan is that I'm going to get rid of the full-size monitor, and I'm going to get rid of the wireless keyboard, and I'm going to have a really small little touchscreen that's small enough to mount on top of my camera. So let's go back to this. Now I bought one on Amazon, and here it is. So this is, all right, so over there on the left is my little computer. So then I got this little, touchscreen. This is a touchscreen. This is a 7-inch touchscreen. It's made for a Raspberry Pi. If you guys don't know what a Raspberry Pi is, it is it's kind of a do-it-yourself little tiny computer. Usually it runs like Linux or Android or something. It's not meant to be a full Windows computer. It's not really powerful enough to run programs like OBS and stuff like that. So you can do a lot of cool things with the Raspberry Pi, but it's kind of like a DIY thing, and I didn't want to build the entire computer from scratch for this project. And plus I looked into Raspberry Pi, and it's not powerful enough for OBS. So I did a bunch of research over the past month, and so I have that little PC, and it runs OBS. I did that stream in the kitchen, with the that I just showed you, making a Greek salad, and that's on my Twitch. So this little monitor, it looks so the screen looks pretty bright in that picture. but because I took this picture with my phone, it's a little deceiving. Outdoors, you would not be able to see that image. It's just too dark. Now my room itself is pretty dark, and so the phone camera is adjusting for the brightness in the room, and that's why it made the screen look much brighter than it is. Now in a dark room, it's great. It's great. Now I mean, yes, I could go out at night. I could use this little monitor at night, walking around at night. It would be fine. But number one, it's a little too small. You don't have, so the problem is you don't have pinch and zoom in Windows. So in Windows, you have to use the touchscreen as it is. Now maybe there's something I don't know about. Maybe there's a Windows setting or app or something that will allow you to do pinch and zoom. But it didn't work like my phone. It's like, on your phone you can like zoom in and to where the buttons are big enough to click them with your finger and stuff. And I couldn't get this screen to do that. So now you'll see on the side here, I've got 3 cables. There's one USB cable for touch. There's a second USB cable supplying 5-volt power. And then the third cable is HDMI. And it's nice that it's a full-size HDMI cable, so I didn't have to get any kind of weird adapter or anything. And then, so the HDMI is going, so the braided color, the USB cable with the red connector, that's going directly into the mini PC. Oh, you can't, it's cropped out. It's on the top. And then the HDMI cable is going directly into that little mini computer. Oh, now you can see it. And then, so here's where I was using it with, so you can see the white cable is plugged into the top. I was using keyboard and mouse because it was just way easier to, to do all the Windows setup and configure programs and use OBS and do all that. The touchscreen was just too small. So I just plugged in a USB keyboard, a full-size USB keyboard and mouse into the mini computer, and it works fine. So there's I just took that picture as like a scale comparison to showing you a full size, just a regular mouse, a regular just normal size mouse compared to the screen. Now, the other thing that's weird about this touchscreen is it comes as a bare circuit board, and then it doesn't have like a regular case. They give you four layers of plexiglass that are laser cut, and you put all 4 pieces of plexiglass together and you run 4 bolts through. See the bolts on the corners? You run bolts through all 4 pieces of plexiglass, and then that's your case. It's kind of weird, and it kind of adds a lot of weight. It makes this thing it makes this thing weigh twice as much as just the circuit board by itself. So that's it's a I don't know, man. I want this thing as light as possible. So I feel like I would definitely have to 3D print a case for this little monitor if I was going to actually use it. But it does work, and it is a touchscreen, and you can. It was fully functional, and it was like $59. So that's another point. I was looking at touchscreens that were like $200, and I'm like, dude, for $200 I can buy a freaking tablet. I can buy I don't know. You can use an Android tablet as a monitor for a Windows PC. The problem is the cheaper tablets don't support that functionality, because I tried, even though like Samsung's website claimed that it did. I went to Best Buy and I bought a $150 Samsung tablet, and it worked fine as a tablet. The touchscreen is great. The screen is great. It was plenty bright enough. But I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get it to do the remote monitor function. And I went on Samsung's website, and I went to their customer support, and they looked it up, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, that model doesn't actually support the remote monitor function. You'll have to buy the blah 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 the blah 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 model." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went back to Best Buy's website, and that one's like $7.99, and then of course they have ones for like $8.99. Dude, I'm not going to buy an $800 or $900 tablet just to use it as a monitor on this thing I'm building. I'm not trying to build a freaking. I'm not trying to build a $3,000 IRL backpack because it's not. I don't even like the IRL backpacks. They don't even have. You're going to pay like $3,000 for an IRL backpack, and it's not going to do half the stuff that the thing I'm building will do. So yeah, I'm not going to, but I also don't want it to cost $3,000 because I want you guys to be able to go out and build this yourself. I'm not going to sell these. I want to go out and stream. I want to go out and live stream from out in the real world. That's what I want to do. But at the same time, I want to share all this with you guys. And I want you guys to be able to buy these parts and plug them in. And maybe I'll have like an instruction sheet or something you can download on my Discord or something. I'm still figuring it out though. I haven't solved all the problems yet. So, that's what we're doing. So, let's see what we got. We got any more cool pictures here? So a friend of mine had this stuff, and I'm gonna have to. He says it's amazing, and so I'm gonna have to go find it and see what it tastes like, because it I don't know. It seems like it could be really good. I'm not a huge fan of peanut butter, but I actually might like this stuff. What else we got? I'm just going through my phone pictures. It's just kind of funny because I got just all kinds of random stuff in here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so I got these the other day. This was like, for me, this was like a really important find because I just wanted a really short little 3.5 millimeter, I think it's 3 point, whatever, the little stereo audio connector like you would have in any audio device that uses the miniature plugs. But I just needed a really short cable, and I also wanted 90-degree plugs on both ends. And so this was just huge. I found this on Amazon, and there were just so many of these on Amazon that just were crap. And this one actually has really nice quality connectors. I've used this. I was using this. I just got some extra ones, but I was using this plug as part of my audio setup when I did the Greek Salad stream. Hey, and if anyone listening, if you guys have questions, feel free. I'm watching the chat, so I'm just kind of rambling on here and showing you guys stuff. But by all means, ask me any questions. I wanted to chat with you guys about this stuff anyway. So anyway, these are just super cool. And I'm going to show you where I'm using this in a second. So, showed you the diagram. Oh, here's where you can see the case of that little monitor that I was talking about. You can see it's like 4 layers of plexiglass that they've cut, and then you just run. They give you the screws, and you run the screw all the way through. But it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of you still have exposed little, really delicate. You have exposed delicate little circuit board connectors, and do I really want to roam around outdoors and have this stuff exposed? Probably not, man. I don't want sand and dirt and just anything else getting in there. I mean, for inside use on a, and for $59, I mean, it's a great bargain. I'm not putting it down, but is it gonna be the best thing for my specific use? Maybe not. Now again, if I designed and I could certainly design a case. I do 3D modeling, and I've designed parts for drones and other things. I could certainly design a nice little 3D a case that could be 3D printed, and then I'd share the STL files with you guys. I'd say, here's where to download the STL file if you want to print your own 3D case for this little screen. That could be cool, but do I want to do that much work? I really don't. I kind of wanted to find another product that was just a little bit more of what I needed. And here's the back. So here's the back of that same monitor. So that's where your stuff plugs in, and it's okay. But again, do I really want that exposed? Do I really want the corner of the circuit boards exposed? It's just I don't. Okay. So I don't want to just ramble on and on about the 5-inch monitor, because it's nice. Okay, so then I'm testing. So I posted this picture on Instagram earlier today, and I think I did it on Facebook as well. But I'm using one of my testers. I have a couple of different USB testers for diagnosing like PC problems and stuff like that. But I'm testing each device, because these little mini computers are only gonna be able to power so many devices. And so I've got to really watch how many devices I'm connecting to these little mini computers, because I don't want to overload the USB bus by drawing too much current, or I'm going to get a voltage drop if I put too many things in. So anyway, this is the HDMI feed coming from my Nikon camera, and it's going through a miniature HDMI to USB capture card, so it shows up in Windows as sorry, my nose is itchy. It shows up as a USB camera in Windows, which makes it a lot easier to configure, and it makes it easier to bring into OBS as well. So this is showing the current that my Nikon is using plugged into this little computer. So that's what that is. Now, let's go to camera went off. Okay. This is the original. This is the first little mini computer that I got, and it's pretty cool. It's got Wi-Fi, and it's got also built-in. You can use Wi-Fi or the Ethernet, HDMI, USB 3, and power in. And then on this side, you got a couple more USB 3 ports and a power button, and it's got an SD card slot that I'm probably never going to use, but whatever. So anyway, it's a little computer. Now, just the other day, I got, and I had to wait like a couple weeks for this thing, but I just received yesterday, and I was just setting it up earlier today. This is the second little mini computer I got. You can see that it's pretty much the same size. It's pretty much the same size as the other one. It's just a little taller. Now, this bigger one has a couple of advantages. It has a couple more ports. It has a USB-C port, which could be handy for things. And it also has, so this one has 8 gigs of RAM, but you cannot change the RAM. It is soldered onto the motherboard, so it's like kind of permanent, and you can't really, there isn't really much you can do inside here as far as customizing and adding things. Whereas this one has 16 gigs of RAM, and you can actually replace the RAM, and you can actually put an additional, you can put it's got some built-in, it's got like, I think 500 gigs of storage. Same with this one, but you can actually add an M.2 SSD to this one, and you can do a few more things. It's got the same processor. They both use the N5105 Intel processor. I don't know if I guess the camera goes off after a few seconds or whatever. So they both use the same N5105 processor. They're very similar. They're very similar to each other, and that processor is important because of its GPU is able to run OBS. And the people on the OBS forum were actually pretty surprised when I showed them that I could run OBS in one of these little computers. So I just went through the whole Windows 11 install just a couple hours ago, and I'm at the screen where I was installing OBS. So I haven't set OBS yet. I just downloaded it and installed it. I guess it's installed. But anyway, this is also a new monitor that I'm trying out. And so this is a 10.1 inch monitor, and it's very similar. It's got an HDMI. And it's got 2 USB. However, it came with a case, and the case is pretty decent. And it also has, you can also adjust the brightness. There's a button up here, and you can adjust the brightness in increments of 10%. It's really handy, and I really like and this is plenty bright, and it looks like it's going to be a cool monitor. Now, here's my camera, and whoops, I guess, oh, weird. Oh, because I put my, okay, never mind. So here is my DSLR camera. This is a Nikon Z6, and this is what it's, hello, and I can, whoops, my phone's going to keep doing that. I can manually focus the lens. I can put different lenses on the camera. I can do a lot. You can do a lot with a professional camera. And so I want to be taking this out into the world. Now I've got a side handle. I got all these parts online from a couple different companies. I got most of these parts from a company called Small Rig, and they make all these attachments for like people doing cinematography and professional setups where you've got all the big lenses and all the stuff. I'm trying to keep this light, so I'm not adding a ton of crap on here, but this is my wireless mic transmitter, and here is that cable that I was talking about. So this is the little mini audio cable, and this goes down here and plugs into the side of the camera. So this is super handy because I didn't want a big rolled up cable getting in the way and getting tangled and all of that. And this just plugs into the microphone input. So when I use my wireless mic, the sound is going in here and it's being recorded with the video from the camera. So there's not going to be, so the stream from this camera will contain the audio and it'll go back to the mini computer. So that's what I did. That's what I did when I did my my Greek salad stream. So that's how that's going to work. Oh, it's not going to reach. Anyway, so I was just going to show you that down here I made a bunch of little labels for all the different power connectors I'm using, so I don't get them mixed up. So I don't want to plug the device into the wrong thing, because some of these have the same cables. This is my second webcam. This is the Logitech C270. It was like $29 at Target. So I didn't want to buy an expensive webcam for that. Let's see. What else can we do? So this picture is, this is OBS running on the new monitor. So this is the new 10-inch monitor, touchscreen monitor. But this is OBS running on the smaller little mini computer that I showed you a few minutes ago. So that was running on that one. Right now that's the 10-inch monitor, but it's connected to the new computer I just got. So that's what's going on there. All right, let's see if this works. Because, cats are good, right? Everyone loves cats. So this is my house. This is my kitchen. And that's actually my neighbor's cat, Freddy. But Freddy's an outdoor cat. And he knows that I'm up late. So he comes and when my neighbors are sleeping, he comes over and meows at my door. Because he likes to come in and drink from the sink. So he'll hop up on my sink and he'll be like, meow, Rob, turn the sink on, meow. And so I was using my Nikon camera to shoot some slow motion video. And I have this on YouTube. And I don't hear the sound, but I feel like the sound is playing in the stream. So I probably need to configure something in OBS because I can't hear the music. There's music with this video, but you guys hopefully are hearing the music. So I don't know. But I don't know. We'll just watch Freddy for a minute here while I drink some water. Feet on the floor. I gotta keep telling myself feet on the floor because my chair rolls really easily, and I'm always like sliding around and knocking things over. But yep. Just We're just watching Freddy here in my stream. I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is, I think this music is, this was in, the YouTube, stock music collection, the free, stock music collection. I think that's where I got this music, I'm pretty sure. The Thirsty Cat. Yep. All right, now that's gonna start over, so we're not gonna do that. Let's do, okay. I think I have another one. Nope. I don't want to do that. Hell's Twist, hey! How's it going? Welcome, welcome. I saw you streaming earlier, but I was super busy trying to get a bunch of stuff working. So, I don't know. What's up? How are you? Bing, bing. This is some drone footage that I shot in Mexico. Oh, how do you like my new little border? I had to make a new border because I got a new version of OBS and it doesn't support the plugin, the Stream Effects plugin yet on my system. So I had to make this little steampunk graphic. I made that in Photoshop. This little, I don't know where I'm pointing. So yeah, I made this little graphic. What do you think? Does it fit my my aesthetic? showing a bunch of pieces in my my little setup here. I don't know if you want to see any of that. Oh, this is like way too loud, I think. How's that? I can't hear the sound from the video, but I think it was too loud, and I think I just fixed it. Is that better? Is my voice better mixed with the sound? Hopefully. So, this is a resort in Mexico, and it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. There's like just swamp and jungle in every direction. And there's like one little road that it takes you here, and then you have this little resort. It's kind of cool because it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's also in the middle of nowhere, so it's kind of interesting. But I'm just showing some random videos because I'm just still learning how to set up OBS, and we already talked about all the other stuff that I was going to talk about tonight, and so there you go. Anyway, if you're going to bed though, that's cool. Thanks for stopping in. Obviously, these aren't all the same resort. Some of these are, you know, there's a few separate resorts here, some bigger than others. Then, after the resorts kind of end, there's a little road. Little road that keeps going, and there's some really high-end, these must be very expensive private homes coming up here. And this was just really cool. And I'm just about out of radio range. It was getting a little fuzzy up here. Now it's recording, you know, clean video to a memory card in the drone, but I'm watching this from back where I was, and it was starting to get super fuzzy, so I decided to turn around. And then that's the end of the video. So. Oh. Okay. So this is a This is a time-lapse video that I did a few years ago. This is at the Fort Lauderdale airport, and I had to get a bunch of clearances. I had to go take a test. I had to go get a certification. I had to do a bunch of nonsense so that I could go into this area and set up cameras and film time-lapse. And what they're doing here is they are setting up and they are putting together 2 flight simulators. And these flight simulators are used, these are really cool. So these are used for training pilots that are already flying commercial airliners. This is for expanding their training to handle emergencies. So they take the actual nose from a real plane, they cut the full nose off of a real plane, or not cut it off, but I'm sure they have a bunch of spare parts and all that kind of stuff. They put together the nose of a real plane, and then it's on legs, and you can't really see it clearly until they put the second one in. When they put the second one in, you'll see it's facing the other direction. And so now I had cameras in several positions. This was basically a 3-camera shoot. I'm using Nikon cameras. I'm using my own controllers, though. I'm not using the built-in time-lapse function in the camera. I'm using my own controller and my own system to run the cameras. Here we go. So that is the actual nose of a plane. You can see the windshield. It's got the full windshield. It's got the inside are all the regular normal controls, seats, the pilot seat and the co-pilot seat and the engineer seat behind, and it's got all the normal stuff. It's a full cockpit of a regular plane. And then they build around it a projection screen. So what they're going to do is they're going to put a projection screen in front of the cockpit. So they're going to cover that with a reflective material, and then above the cockpit is like a movie projector. And so it's going to project a 3D animation, like a video game, but like a really, really super realistic. Like I think it's bigger than 4K. I think it's like some super 8K resolution 3D video stream of. I mean, they can just put in the computer like what airport they want to simulate, and then I actually got to ride in this thing. They took me for a test drive. It was amazing. And I'm like, oh, let's go to LAX. And so they just punched up the LAX airport, and boom, we were there. And you're looking out the windshield, and it looks like you're at the freaking airport. And then the legs move the whole thing around in real time. It tilts it, it shakes it, it simulates turbulence. It does all the stuff. And this was an incredible experience to film. Several companies were involved, and the Fort Lauderdale International Airport in Florida. And this was just an amazing experience to see this thing come together, and then to finally get to go for a ride. I sat in the pilot seat, and then a guy sat in the co-pilot seat, and he just guided me through what to do. And it was super amazing. So they're making a reflective screen, and then they're putting that screen up, and then there's a projector I'm not sure of all the details of how it works, but it's really cool. And so it's like 180. You can look around, and you can look out the windshield and look over there, and you can look over there, and it becomes like your reality. And when we were taking off, it felt like I was taking off. The whole thing tilted back, and I was like pushed back in my seat. It literally felt like we were taking off. It was incredible. And then what they can do, see, there you go. There's a time lapse of it moving. Look at that. They can simulate turbulence. They can simulate, and here's the finished situation. So they can simulate an engine blowing out and turbulence and a lightning strike and just any kind of emergency situation that a pilot has to deal with. And then they train in these things. And I asked them, like, hey, do any of these experienced pilots, do they freak out? And the instructor was like, yep. Some of them lose it. Some of them we've had to clean up puke. We've had to, this can be a really scary experience for these pilots. But it helps them face those situations. If they really happen, then they're a lot more prepared, and it's just super cool. I never knew that existed, so that's one of my projects, and I had to build some custom stuff for that time lapse. I had to build some camera controllers and time lapse controllers, and I had to come up with power supply solutions, and just, it was interesting. It was definitely an interesting project. Really cool. Let's see. Go back to my phone. Here's my phone. Let's see what's going on my phone. That was my setup we already talked about earlier tonight. That was my streaming setup for the Greek Salad. There's the little tiny computer. So that whole little thing right there is the entire computer, and that's running OBS on this monitor. And there's my OBS setup, and using a wireless keyboard with trackpad. So there's that. Why is this not? Oh, I know why. It's not showing the. Hold on a second. I gotta fix something. No, that's not what I want. I want this, and then I want this, and I want to bring this over here. The picture is fully in the screen, and then we'll just do a transition like that, and that kind of works. And then I don't know, is that, let's see, there we go. So what else? Oh, that was some Thai food I had the other day. I tried a new Thai place, and it was really good. That is fried grouper with red curry and vegetables. It was pretty tasty. Yep. That was pretty good. Yep, that was okay. So I had a photo shoot with this girl who's kind of she's interesting. She does a lot of crazy stuff, and that's I like when people want to do crazy photo shoots. And so she brought this device as a prop to our photo shoot, and it was and it lights up. I just never seen one of those before that lights up. I've always seen like the stainless steel, the metal ones, but apparently this is a disposable one, and yeah, it has a little thing, and you pull it, and then the light comes on, and then but then it doesn't have any kind of switch where you can actually turn the light off. So that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. It was fun though. It was interesting. Definitely interesting. Photo shoots with her are always interesting. Here's some guacamole from I was at Rocco's Tacos. I was meeting a friend, and she was running a little late, so I was eating the guacamole. They make really good guacamole. They make it fresh when you order it. And you tell them how hot you want it, and if you want anything extra in it, and they totally make it from scratch. I was sitting at the bar, but if you're sitting at a table, they will actually come over to the table, and they'll roll this little cart over, and they cut open the avocados right in front of you, and they chop everything up, and they make the avocado right in front of you. But they obviously they can't do that at the bar. They can't roll up behind a bunch of other people sitting at the bar and do that. So they do it in the kitchen. They bring it out to you. It's the same guacamole. It's made fresh. It's super amazing. But yeah. So that's what's going on. Yeah, I'm just kind of rambling and showing random pictures here. I think we went through all this stuff. I think we went through all these pictures. Don't know if they have anything else to show you. I mean, this is the little computer. We already talked about that. I showed you guys this is the first, whoops, hold on. Wow, sorry about that. I think that's the first time I've ever sneezed on stream. Huh, okay. Anyway. This is one of the little computers that I talked about earlier that I showed you. So that's and I actually have so that's Ethernet. That's Ethernet, HDMI from the top, from the left. That's Ethernet coming in, HDMI coming in from the monitor, keyboard, USB, and 12-volt power. And then on the right side are two USBs. The top one is the DSLR, my Nikon DSLR feed coming in, and then the next one is the Logitech C270. So that's how I had that connected. That is my Nikon Z6. And that's how I have it set up for my IRL CAM rig. So that is a wireless microphone transmitter mounted on top of the handle. The handle doesn't come with the camera. That's from a company called Small Rig. But it's really cool. It's got holes. It's got threaded holes up and down the entire handle, so you can just attach things. You can just attach accessories to it anywhere, pointing in front, side, rear. You can just attach stuff to. It's just really cool. And then what else we got? Oh, okay. So that's when I was first testing this thing. So that's my full-size monitor. Full-size monitor. The Logitech webcam is sitting on top there. Then that's the entire computer running OBS, and it's connected to my, whoops. What did I just do? It's connected to my DSLR camera, so that feed, so you can see the DSLR camera feed. You can see the image is right there. So that's how that was working. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, just a bunch of random stuff. This is my, yeah, that's my room. Oh, that was the, yeah, now we're back like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago when I was doing the unboxing. That was my setup to do the unboxing. When I unboxed that little computer. I have the stream, the stream for that is on my Twitch. So I got a bunch of stuff behind me on the bed, so I can just turn around in my chair and grab stuff off the bed. So that's that pretty much. That's where is this? Oh, that's a lake by my brother's house. They go wakeboarding out there and stuff. Yeah, that's my room. That's all. That's my artwork on the walls. Those are pictures that I've done of Rust. Rust was a theme that I photographed for a while. I did a series of art. I've showed some of that stuff in some galleries. It's all about rust. It's all about decay and the things we build. It just everything we build, it's gonna rot and decay and eventually fall apart and just eventually turn to dust. And that's all this technology. It's all gonna rust. It's all gonna go away. Yep. But I'm not. I don't feel like getting into that whole philosophy thing right now. So I don't know what else we got. Not really sure. Not really sure. I'm gonna go back to that's my phone. Connected to my computer so I can show you stuff. It's super handy. I covered how to do that in one of my videos in case any of you guys want to do that. You can do it on Linux, you can do it on Windows, and you can do it on Mac. And it doesn't have to be an iPhone. This is an Android phone. And you can totally hook up your phone with a USB cable directly into your PC. And then you can have your phone screen as a window in OBS. So that's just how I did that. So boom, it's my phone screen. And right now I have it locked horizontal because I knew I was going to show you guys pictures and I didn't want to have the pictures vertical. So there's a way you can just lock it. You can lock the window to horizontal so it just works better. I can turn my phone camera on and then you can see I'm just pointing my phone at the thing. So I can just go up here and like There you go. There's my webcam, and there's the phone cam. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. Yeah. It's kind of a, I don't know, bizarre. All right. Anyway. Oh, I'm happy a couple of you guys stopped in. It was cool. It was cool. I was really hoping more people were going to come in and ask me questions, because I really want to talk about all the stuff I'm trying to figure out, and I want to answer any questions, and I want to get ideas. If you guys have any ideas for me, I want to hear them. My plan is to really go out into the world with this camera rig at night, during the day, just go around to different places. I really want to. I want to go to. I've been actually talking. I talked to a couple restaurant owners, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you could come in and do a live stream. You come back in the kitchen and watch me making something." And I'm like, "Oh, that would be awesome." Because it would help promote them, and it would help promote me, and it's, I don't know, it would be cool for everyone, I think. I want to go to the beach. I want to go to parks. We have some really cool parks here in South Florida, and I want to go and like be in the middle of the Everglades or in the middle of the woods or something. I mean, the woods here are not the same as the woods up north. I grew up north. I grew up in Connecticut, and the woods up there were really super cool. The woods down here are different. It's like tropical swamp kind of, situation, and there's alligators and iguanas and big giant spiders and just all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's cool. It's cool. I think it would be cool to live stream that stuff. I don't know. I think it would be neat. So yeah. And then just walking around. There's a lot of, I could go to some of the touristy areas. I could go to I don't know. Maybe I could even go to, I don't know. I think there are a few places that I have access to that I don't think everyone has access to. I could call up some people and say, "Hey man, can I go to the thing and, do a live stream?" They may say no. Or they may say, "Oh, sure, as long as you don't go in this area," and blah blah blah. So I don't know. So yeah, I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things I want to do. And I think this thing could be cool. So I'm gonna keep building it, and hopefully get a few more people interested. And you guys are always welcome to come in and ask me anything, and we can talk about. And hey, if you have some other subject you want to talk to me about, I'm down, dude. This is like, I don't have any specific schedule of topics or anything. I'm just kind of, this is all like by the seat of my pants. This is all completely unrehearsed, and I have really no idea what I'm doing. I'm still figuring all this out. So I'm gonna keep playing Elden Ring on Mondays. I'd rather do more, I don't know, like mad scientist DIY stuff, though. And I'd Friday, I'm gonna try to do a test stream with this new little computer on Friday night. And we'll see what happens.